Hey, what's shaking everyone? My name is Jex, and I hope you guys had a great weekend. I know I did. It was actually BlizzCon this past weekend, and it was pretty cool. We got a ton of new Overwatch information. They hosted 2 panels, one for each day. The first one was called the What's New panel, that talked more about the beta and all the gameplay elements and all the things that people want answered, including the payment model. I'll get to that soon. And then the next day, they had the World of Overwatch panel, which talked solely about lore and all the story elements of the game. Now today we're going to talk about the What's New panel, and I'll be covering the World of Overwatch in a future video, so stay tuned for that. But anyway, let's get started. So they opened up with some fun facts about the beta, including the fact that over 82,000 matches have already been played, and if you haven't gotten into the beta yet, this was actually quite painful. Now the average match length was about 734, and the most played hero was a huge shocker. It wasn't Tracer, and it wasn't Reaper, even though I was yelling at the screen that it would be Tracer or Reaper, and they even asked the audience beforehand who they thought, and everyone was saying Tracer or Reaper. But it wasn't, it was actually Pharah, so congratulations to her. I think the whole Justice Reigns from Above thing is really starting to catch fire now. They went on to reveal the hero with the best chance of winning. I assume this is like the highest win rate in the beta so far, and that was none other than Symmetra. Now this was pretty interesting because no one has really paid much attention to Symmetra because she's actually the least popular hero according to a lot of straw polls that you might see in the subreddit and things like that. So this was pretty cool, so now I think people are gonna, give Symmetra a little more attention that she's been lacking so far. Now in regards to the console versions of the game, it was apparently always planned for consoles, and that the aim assist found on the PC beta was left there by mistake. Now they also promised to have full integration with Xbox Live and PSN, and that there would be no cross-platform play. Now of course people questioned why there's no cross-platform play, and so Jeremy Craig, the senior designer at Blizzard, made the following statement. From a gameplay standpoint, mouse and keyboard has a little bit of an advantage in terms of being able to spin really quickly, and our game is pretty fast paced. It just felt like there was a little bit too much of an advantage. Next up, they talked about the new Hollywood map, which is a payload map based in, well, you probably guessed it already, Hollywood. So that whole Halford Glitchbot thing from, I think a week or 2 ago, and they teased it with a movie poster, and I kept thinking it was going to be a new hero, but I was wrong. He is a character, and a pretty big character in the Overwatch universe. Apparently he's a famous Omnic film director who, well, a lot of people want to kill him because they're racist, because they don't like robots. I think this map is actually really cool because you can see all these different Hollywood movie sets, including the one from about 2 weeks ago. But of course the meat and potatoes of this entire panel was talking about the 3 new heroes: Mei, a climatologist, D.Va, an esports champion, and Genji, the long-awaited cyborg ninja and brother of Hanzo. Now while I'd like to get into all the little nitty-gritty details of each hero, that would make this video take way too long, and I'm sure you can find a lot of hero breakdown videos anyway. So first we've got Mei. Her full name is Mei Lingzhou, age 31, from Xi'an, China. She's a defense class hero with a cryo freeze ability that can effectively block Reinhardt's charge, and that's pretty game changing because before, Reinhardt was like invincible and he was like sending people off the side of the map. If you've watched any beta gameplays, it's been insane. So now we finally have someone that can actually completely counter and, neutralize that attack. Next up, we have D.Va, real name Hannah Song, age 19, from Busan, South Korea, a tank class hero with a defense matrix that can block all weapon fire, including Pharah's ultimate ability. That's right, not even Justice can get through. Now, she has no abilities once she's outside of the mech, and the reason why she's outside is because her ult is a self-destruct button. So when she is outside, all she can really do is shoot people with a pistol and call down a new mech, which actually reminds me of Titanfall. But who cares about any of that when you have Genji? That's right, Genji Shimada, age 35, from Hanamura, Japan, an offensive hero, and is the younger brother that Hanzo thought he had killed. So if you know Hanzo's lore, you're aware that he killed his brother. This is the guy. Apparently there was only supposed to be one ninja hero, and that was Hanzo, but not the Hanzo we know today. It was actually a hybrid of the current Hanzo we know today and Genji, where he had a bow and arrow, but he also used a katana and shurikens like Genji does. He kinda looked like Genji wearing Hanzo's outfit. This was too difficult for the devs to create because of all the weapons he was carrying, and they wanted him to use all of them. But it just wasn't working, so they split him into two different characters, and so Genji was created. So they ended the panel with a giant Q&A session with a ton of new information, so here we go. Now, despite the fact that Blizzard has supported Mac for a really long time, there is no Mac version currently being planned for Overwatch. As for new game modes, they are currently being tested, but modes like CTF, Capture the Flag, just haven't been able to work because of balancing issues with characters like Tracer, who can just blink away really quickly and have high mobility. Per hero key binding is on the way. That's right, so if you don't like playing Tracer with the same layout you play Reaper, don't worry about it, because they will fix that. Now, if you're part of the lucky 10 people that got the beta, you should be happy to know that you will be able to play as the 3 new characters, Mei, D.Va, and Genji, in about a week. Now that the game is coming to consoles, someone raised the question of split screen, and while there's no split screen currently being planned, you should know that esports will be supported on all platforms. What does it have to do with split screen? Nothing, but just so people know that console users aren't getting the short end of the stick. Now, for the people that don't really like the current UI, do note that you can turn it off, and custom UIs aren't coming, but you can make small alterations such as different reticles, which I know a lot of people were hoping for. I was hoping for too, because I think the reticle is kind of too faded out and hard to see. But I wouldn't know because I haven't experienced the game, so maybe it's not that bad. But if I had the beta, I would know. As for modding, Blizzard says that they fully support modding and even named a game like Dota, which was created from a Warcraft 3 mod. Now, details on modding have yet to be figured out, and they aren't expecting to have much modability at launch either. Of course, like in any good Q&A session, someone would eventually bring up the elephant in the room, the payment model. So buying the game gets you 21 heroes at launch, with no more heroes on the way, so the roster you see right now is going to be the final roster at launch, and that they're focused on other things and other features right now. They say that they like the current roster and are not thinking beyond that, so adding additional heroes will be decided in the future. Now, of course, a lot of people were upset with this answer because it felt like they were dodging the question, in which Kaplan says that they're not trying to dodge the question, and it's because they honestly haven't made a decision on it. Now, whether you believe that or not is up to you. I'm not too sure what to think of it if they are actually telling the truth here, but I really am interested in how they're going to be charging us in the future for future heroes. I mean, we've seen so much concept art, they've shown us so much stuff. There's obviously going to be new heroes on the way. They cannot just say they're not thinking beyond 21 heroes. Okay, that part I think is a load of crap. Now, in a separate interview, I believe this was with PC Gamer, Kaplan says that there will be no hero store plan for the game, which makes me wonder, how are they going to charge for new heroes and new content in the future? Are they going to sell them as like big expansions with, say, like StarCraft 2 or Diablo 3? Or, you know, what's going to happen with it? How are they charging us? And now there's a crazy trend on Reddit of people boycotting the game until we get the answers we are looking for. But that brings us to the end of this video. If you found it helpful, that's great, but if you're a huge fan of the game like I am, I would highly recommend you go and watch the panel for yourself because there are a lot of details I did not cover in this video, so I highly recommend you go and check it out. So like I said from the beginning of the video, I will be covering the World of Overwatch panel in the coming days. I don't know when I'll have that up, but I'll try to get it out as soon as I can. So stay tuned for that, and thank you again for watching. My name is Jex, and I've lost count of how many days it's been without the beta.